Hello, good evening, and welcome. I'm John Lazarus with Stories Matter and D&E Publishing. I'm sure many of you have had this problem in your writing. You've written this great, emotionally wrenching scene where a young man comes out to his conservative parents in 1980s Oklahoma, but you just can't find an organic way to include your sassy, sarcastic, jive-talking android who's been the star of your story so far. Voice and tone are some of the hardest things for a new writer to tackle, and in this video, I'll share some tips to establish ones that are consistent, unique, ambiguous, and blatant. But first, a word from our sponsor. Speaking of tone, today's video is brought to you by push-up boards. These state-of-the-art pieces of plastic are great for maintaining upper body strength and proving to others that you have enough disposable income to spend on fucking anything. Why touch the dirty ground with your bare hands like some filthy savage who might as well be foraging for nuts and berries, when you can exercise with dignity like a civilized man? Not only do push-up boards let you put your hands in different positions, which, in fairness, you could do if you didn't have one, and not only do they provide a nice surface for large-breasted women to mash their tits into, there are only maybe a dozen objects in your house that could serve the same purpose. Call your doctor today to see if push-up boards are right for you. Think of writing a book like making a pot of pasta. If your words, sentences, paragraphs, and chapters are the noodles, and the water is the editor that shapes them, and the plate is the pages they're eventually written on, and the kitchen then is the place where you write most of the book, and the sauce is the cover and the reviews and the endorsement quotes, then what is the tone and voice? Well, tone and voice are the heat that gets the water boiling in the first place. And much like pasta, if you don't have a consistent tone and voice, if you constantly turn the heat on and off at random intervals during the cooking process, those noodles are going to come out half crunchy and half soggy. In basic terms, tone is the general mood, attitude, character, or atmosphere of your writing, and voice is a mixture of your tone, rhetoric, and point of view in telling the story. But none of that is especially important. Before you start writing, sit down with yourself and ask, why am I writing this? Do I want to make people laugh? Is there a pressing real-world issue I need to inform others about, like the imminent rise in valuation of the Iraqi dinar? It's different for everyone. For me, I started writing because I wanted other people to have sex with me. When I realized that most women didn't particularly like stories about serial killers who mutilate college cheerleaders and dental hygienists, I took some time to reflect how my tone and voice could better serve my purpose. Here are 4 tips that have brought me a lot of luck. Step 1. Read authors whose voice or tone you want to mimic. I know reading can be a chore. Nobody wants to do it, least of all writers. There are certainly days I'd rather catch a movie, do a Netflix binge, catch a play, catch a radio play, or catch a street fight, but great reading does make great writing. Anyone will do. You can go with the classics or choose the one loser from your local writing group that they'll never make a dime and you can just pretty much plagiarize. You want something florid and ornate, but down to earth and relatable? Can't beat Steinbeck. Want a dry, sarcastic tone? Well then, read Lu Xun, so long as you understand Chinese. Want to sound smart? Try some Einstein or Plato. Want to sound like a total insane psycho? Well, there are probably any number of great feminist writers out there for you. Step 2. Write a baseline paragraph. Once you start to find your tone and voice, find a paragraph that sounds exactly the way you want your work to sound. Tape it to your computer so that it's always in front of you when you write. If that's not enough, record yourself reading it, put it on a loop, and walk around all day listening to it. And if that's not enough, pay people in your life or actors to text you and leave constant messages of that paragraph for you throughout the day. And if that's not enough, try releasing a 300-page novel that's just that paragraph repeated ad nauseum as a postmodern experiment and see if that gets you anywhere. Step 3. Convey tone through details and descriptions. Specificity is key here. Consider the difference in tone between "a curvy woman said hello" and "the ripe peach glistening, each fiber of soft fuzz glistening, was projected upward in an open invitation to be bitten." These mean the same thing, but feel very different. When I was teaching my writing course at the Learning Annex, I used to take my class on a field trip when we got to the voice and tone lesson. I'd ask my students to walk through the cancer ward at the local hospital and try to describe what they saw. In one of the pieces, a student wrote she witnessed the glassy, dead-eyed stare of someone who'd given up on life. Another remarked, "At first I thought his gentle humming was to drown out the sorrow of those around him, but soon realized he had no grasp on the reality or feelings of others." The stuff they wrote about the cancer patients and not me was even more bleak. Step 4. Pay attention to rhythm and word choice. Connotation matters a lot. If your characters are having sex, climaxing has a very different meaning from scrambling each other's insides. As for rhythm, short sentences often provide a quickened, tense feeling, which might work great for action scenes, a nervous, racing inner monologue, or describing how straight men feel when they look at Tom Hardy. Let's take a look at how this might be achieved with an excerpt from my 2006 coming-of-age novel, Tomorrow's Sorrows Borrowed. To tell you the truth, I could do without all these motherfucking cocksuckers. Cunts and bastards all fucking pissing me off, if I'm being honest. Fucking shitting and pissing and rubbing their dicks over every fucking thing I do. Fuck. You see, I was using the language and slang and parlance of youth at the time to convey a very relatable voice and a tone of teenage angst. Well, that's all for today. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll leave you with this week's author quote of the week. See you on the next one.